Hi, everyone. Welcome to the GTK chat with State Puff and Chaps. Chaps, how you doing today?
Good, Stay Puff. How you doing?
I am good, as I like to say. Where did you post today?
So I posted at Two Wolves. I did a double tap. So I did Two Wolves for our main man, Two Hand Touch. It was his 3-year anniversary. So I was there for him. And then I led a workout at Late Start Outpost that starts at 6:15 at Outpost for Frontier Park and led that one. We had about 10 guys out there.
Nice. How big? It seemed on Slack that it seemed like you had like a mini convergence at Two Wolves. How many guys ended up going to
I think
Two
we
Hands
had
anniversary?
Yeah, I think we had like 38 or something like that, 37. So I mean, everybody loves him. Everybody loves Two Hand Touch. How can you not? He's a great guy. So it was nice to see. I don't know. It was nice to see some of the Black Diamond guys out there. With everybody else, because usually they just do their Black Diamond workouts at 5. But it was nice to have everybody out there, and it was good to see some other people that we haven't had out there in a while. Like Barf Bag was out there. It was good to see him, and Donkey was out there, and I think he kept his shirt on, which was nice. So you never know with Donkey. When he gets to a little too warm, there it goes.
Yeah.
Shirt's done.
Well, I saw him. I was on a run by myself, just running in the area outside F3, and he pulls up beside of me in his tree car, in his Arbor tree car, and everything. I was like, "Steve Puff, what's up?"
Yeah, he's a great guy.
I do see him with his shirt on, fully clothed and working. So outside, but we are here. We have a couple. We do have a quite agenda today. So we're going to bring on the man of the hour, Peptides. So let me add him to the stage here if I can get my act together. Peptides, welcome to the show. How you doing this morning?
What's up, my brothers? How are you guys?
Good, man.
Where did you post this morning? Did you post this morning?
I did not. I'm in Detroit traveling for work, so been working a lot this week, and hit the hotel gym today, but no F3 workouts this morning.
All right. So just to kind of get to know you, what's Peptides? So are you into DNA splicing? Are you involved with making those genetically engineered wolves from the whatchamacallit? What's the iron Chaps? Hit me up here. Did you hear about that?
No, I didn't hear this one.
What's the big show? Game of Thrones.
Yeah,
they genetically engineered the wolves, the big wolves, to come back.
Yeah, no, and it's a later question, I think, but yeah, I oversee 115 different locations, retail locations of supplement stores, the Vitamin Shop. So when I originally had posted, that's where I got my name. So yeah, the Peptides name kind of comes from it, but it has a lot of legs, as a lot of the names do in F3.
So who brought you out though?
I was going to say Weeblos, who I think has brought out over like 1,000 guys.
Yeah. He likes to bring people out, but sometimes he doesn't show up himself. But whatever.
We've been getting him out a lot more, that's for sure. But yeah, he calls me out quietly, that's for sure.
Yeah. Well, that's good.
Where do you usually like to post at? Because we usually don't interact. I'm on the west side of the region. Where are you usually posting?
Yeah, and you and I have had some contact at the golf outing and stuff like that. So I am typically at whether it be between Outpost. That's obviously a big one that I like to go to. DuPage River, which is obviously probably the big one. Complex is probably my favorite place to go to, and that's where I see Chaps obviously quite a bit. That's one that's closest to my house. And then Dark Tower, I'd say, would probably be the big one. But my original one was at Iron Lion. So, all of those, I live in the middle of a lot of different ones, but those are the ones that I probably frequent the most.
So when there's on-site cafeteria, how do you like to take your coffee?
I was going to say, that's a good one. Hank Hill is known for bringing, the foo-foo creamer that we like to talk about. So I'm a cream and sugar guy across the board. So those would be my favorite. Just a little bit of cream, a little bit of sugar.
So Stay Puff,
Yeah.
I don't like coffee.
Yes, we've had that. You don't mind the idea of on-site coffee. I thought you just didn't like the idea of on-site coffee.
No, I just don't like coffee.
Yes.
And so like just the on-site coffee, I'm like, I need to get out of here. I need to get my own drink. But I will say Hank Hill, I did try it and it is good. I don't know if it was the creamer, maybe it was Peptides, but yeah, that was the only one that I've tried in my entire life. And I've tried a few that I'm like, all right, this is pretty good. I could deal with this.
You know, I get the same batch of coffee that Hank Hill has. Just tell me the creamer and I'll get the creamer for Citadel.
You're talking to the wrong guy on that.
Hank Hill, if you're listening, tell me what creamer you get so I can make a Walmart order. Not a sponsor, but we are always looking for sponsors.
Yeah.
I love it. I love it.
So real quick before we move on, Peptides, you're very close with NA. What's your relationship with him? Like, what do you do with him, and how do you help him out?
Yeah, I think NA, I brought him out, so again, we talked about the Weeblo situation there. I brought him out and, he was somebody that was somewhat into fitness and wanted to be more, and he was always intrigued by what F3 had to offer. So was able to bring him out and, he obviously is a local small business and has obviously done a lot of stuff with F3. And he's actually, I looked at the stats the other day, he's posted more than I have. So really just support his brand. He's obviously a local brewer in the area and, is somebody that just obviously brings a lot of value to F3, but certainly brings a lot of value to the local communities in Lisle and Naperville as well. So I just try to support him as much as humanly possible.
Yeah, great guy.
Before we get going, what is your favorite type of workout when you cue, and what do you try to avoid, or what do you hate when you shudder when someone brings it up?
Yeah, any type of cardio or running. Chaps will tell you that. I always joke around like, if you guys want to do 5,000 shoulder presses, I'm good. Like I'll be there all day. We'll go till 11 a.m. if you want. If there's any type of cardio, and I would tell you that's what F3 has and is. Before we introduce Brittany's a marathon runner and all that good stuff. I always say, why would anybody want to run? But that's really what F3 is. It's a number of things that it's brought to my life and. Not realizing that you're doing cardio. So I would say cardio is probably my least favorite. If you said, hey, Jake, we're going to run 5 miles today. I'm like,
but we don't know you by Jake, by the way. Peptides.
Yeah. But if you think about it, I'd say probably cardio, any type of cardio. So if they say, hey, we're going to run or whatever they think, but I've learned to really appreciate it. And when it actually is almost disguised as an F3 workout, I love it, and I look at, oh my gosh, I did this many miles. So that would probably be my least favorite, but it's turned into probably my best favorite when it's hidden as an F3 workout.
Very nice. So as we said, we're going to bring on Brittany to the stage. Brittany, welcome. How are you doing this morning?
Good. How are you?
So we're good. Brittany, why don't you tell us a little? Oh, I gotta get to the different slide here. So let me add to your slideshow that you gave us. Tell us a little about yourself.
Yes. So jumping in. So yes, a little bit about me. I'm a registered and licensed dietitian. I've been practicing since 2009. And I do have my master's of science in dietetics. I'm an ASM certified personal trainer. I listed all my professional experience there, but I think the majors for this are sports nutrition, dietary and herbal supplements, private practice, corporate wellness, community education. And my connect here is that I am a nutritionist with the Vitamin Shop. So I get to provide one-on-one nutrition consultations to our Healthy Awards customers, many of whom are training and competing in various competitions and races.
And we can see all your marathon medals in the background. How many marathons have you done?
Yep. So next slide. I share that I've run almost 24 ultra marathons between 31 and 63 miles and over 24 marathons. So a lot more marathons and ultra training than that, but those are clocked ones.
Have you ever done the Hell Michigan ultra marathon?
Yep.
You've been to hell?
I've been to hell.
And there is another one I've never done. I'm a marathoner.
Yes.
There's another one in Arizona. I'm forgetting. Like it's not. I've been to another one. I was supporting a friend at one point in my life. I forget about it. But
Like
anyway,
a longer one.
It's super.
For another
Yeah.
240 is this weekend. My buddy is starting it on Friday.
Yeah, and how long is that going to take him?
I think he should be able to get it done in less than 5 days, hopefully. It's serious.
Scares me. This is all terrifying to me. I am
Yeah,
not.
there's some hallucinations on those types of distances for sure.
Chaps, I thought you were a runner.
No, I mean I'll run, but I'm not doing some crazy marathon just for the heck of it.
Yes. No sleeping in
But
ditches in the middle of the
like
night.
to listen. I like to listen and find out ways to better my body and get better at running. So because at the end of the day, I got a fat ass and it's not going to go away. So I don't know.
Though, I was teaching a CPR workout. I made Chaps a dummy. I was teaching everyone how to save from a choking person, and he was pretty solid. He looks like he's a hunk, but he looks like a chunk. But it's solid. It's solid, people. So I'm just from firsthand experience. So
yeah.
But anyway, let's go to the next slide, Brittany. So tell us, what is your game tonight? Because we have this big thing called linking games. And I know everyone who's listening, the 7 people who are currently watching our show, and hopefully more will join us.
Yes.
Everyone who knows linking games is this big week-long event starting Monday at 12 a.m. going all the way to Saturday to midnight, where we are working, we're biking, we're running, we're rucking, we're doing as many boot camp workouts as possible. And you're going to help us tell us how to fuel before, during, and after the games, correct?
Absolutely. Yep,
So,
these are the 3 majors, are just baseline nutrients and fluid needs. We'll talk about fueling performance, and then the recovery and optimization piece, where a lot of our supplements from the vitamin shop come in.
all right. So let's go in. So tell us there's a lot going on the screen. So
there's a lot. Yep.
Yeah. So
this is a save and look at for later type of slide. Same with the next 2 slides. And even though we'll get into like protein powder and like more of the sports nutrition side of things, these are foundational nutrients that we need just for baseline functions of the body to work properly. So we consider them foundational. And I just listed out what each vitamin or mineral is needed for, and then where the source is.
So for anyone who's just kind of listening in, can you quickly just list off some of the vitamins that you have listed on the screen? You don't have to go into detail.
Yeah, for sure. So I bolded those that are super impactful for performance and nutrition. So like those are the major ones that you need to focus on. So this first slide, vitamin D is needed for bone health, hormone function. It's required for testosterone production. So a really big one for guys. Immune support. And we make vitamin D in our skin from the sun. And it's hard to get from food sources. So I listed fatty fish, anything that has bones in it, fortified dairy, egg yolks. If you're not getting those in every day, and you're not seeing sunshine, it's an automatic supplement. Next 2 slides, if you go forward, I listed all of them. If you go forward another one, yep. These are, again, super important for exercise, especially. So your potassium is needed for fluid balance, muscle contractions, blood pressure control, and sources are bananas, potatoes, melon, avocado, beans, yogurt. So again, gotta have those. The next slide, I included supplements. So if for some reason you go through that list and you're like, I'm not getting half of these, then these are the majors. So like a multivitamin covers all baseline vitamins, minerals, B vitamins. antioxidants. Like it just covers baselines. So if you go through that list and you're like, there's no way that I'm getting those in, that would be your go-to, just a baseline multivitamin.
So with these vitamins, should I eat these with food? Should I drink these with water?
Good question.
So are they fat soluble, water soluble? What do you do? How do you recommend? Like,
I usually say first meal of the day.
Am I like Rocky, like trying to mix everything else?
Right. Yeah. So first meal of the day with food I would say is best. There's water and fat soluble vitamins, so that can help with absorption and usage. And B vitamins especially are needed for energy production. So I usually say a multi right before bed probably isn't a great idea, just in case you have, especially have a hard time going down to sleep, you wouldn't want to take a multi then. Your fish oil, same, you could take it right with your multi. If you aren't getting the 3 servings of seafood in per week, then you're not getting enough omega-3s. And omega-3s are anti-inflammatory fatty acids that help to counteract inflammation in the body. So especially athletes, especially when you get into the games here, you are using up that nutrient.
So what you have listed, you have a Thrive, so the Bioactive Men's 1 Daily Multivitamin. Yep. You have a electrolyte formula. So I'm more of a Noon guy. Is that something like Noon where you mix it in with your water and that replaces it, so it's not as high as intensity as Gatorade, but you're still getting the electrolytes in the water? So
same type of thing. The reason I like Hydrate so much is that it has a 2-to-1 ratio of sodium to potassium, and we sweat out more sodium to potassium. There are some electrolyte powders out there that are higher potassium to sodium. So they're like good for lifestyle, but not necessarily good for athletes. We want to like replace like we are sweating. And so this is a good one. Everybody has to experiment. Like you are good with Noon. There might be somebody that feels horrible when they take Noon because they're, they don't need as much potassium and they need more sodium depending on the balance. So this is a middle of the road one. We have some, I'm sure you guys have heard of LMNT, a crazy high sodium. That would be for somebody who like squishes their shoes when they're working out. Like they're heavy sweaters. They need high salt.
That's like horse and buggy. He just drenches.
Or C-bus.
Or Columbus. Yeah.
Or C-bus. You never know.
Yeah, they're a disaster. I have to pick up horse and buggy like all the time. He's always falling behind. Maybe he needs that hydrate, I think.
Likely, yeah.
Yeah.
So
he struggles.
Horse and buggy on the back. He has some very colorful comments. So I'm picking and choosing. So horse and buggy, I love you so much, but I'm not gonna show all your comments. So FYI. So Brittany, should I move on to the next slide?
Yep, that's ZMA is the last one on there. Just really quick, ZMA has zinc, magnesium, and L-theanine. We sweat out zinc and magnesium, but magnesium is needed for muscle relaxation. So if anybody has like muscle crampiness, restlessness, like Charlie horses, when they go to like settle down at night, that's a sure sign that you need more magnesium. And this is one of my favorites because L-theanine is a calming amino acid, so it's great for bedtime. We can move along now.
Okay, no, awesome. No, so how to measure sweat rate? So so
this is most important again for those that sweat a lot. So the research shows that even a 2% loss of fluid from sweat can impact performance. I've had races or even just long runs where in a 2 to 3 hour time, I've lost 8 to 9 pounds. That's how much I sweat. So I'm not going to be doing well, right? Like at some point, the muscle contractions and function are not going to work well, and your mental like agility goes out the window. So especially for those that sweat a lot, they need to check their sweat rate.
So I like to run with a hydration bottle, and then probably for me, I'll mix in probably about every hour ish. I'll go through that bottle, and I'll probably need to replace the Noon tablets. and I'm kind of trying to sip as I get thirsty. So it's right there. Is that what you recommend to other people? What's a hydration strategy if someone's doing a long run versus a long bike ride?
Right. So it's actually pretty similar. We need around, after baselines, you need about half your body weight in ounces of water a day, just as the baseline. And then we need 4 to 6 ounces for every 15 to 20 minutes of exercise. And so that kind of depends on, how much you sweat. If you don't sweat a lot, then you're on the 4 ounce side every 20 minutes. If you're a heavy sweater, some even get up to 10 ounces for every 15 minutes. So I always say, think through how long you're going to be out there, regardless of whether it's running or biking, and then make a strategy from there. Like, when do you need to fill up? And then on the sweat rate side, you can measure your sweat rate. You just need, it's easiest if you have an hour exercise, whether it's biking or running or rowing or skiing, whatever you're doing. You literally weigh yourself in a dry state. So right before you run without your clothes, right? And then when you get back, you strip down again, jump on the scale, and you look at the difference between your weight. And that's how you figure out how much more you need during your run. So that's the best way to do it.
And then another question is, because we have a conversation, how much, we're waking up early in the morning. So we're waking up 5:15 in the morning to go to our workouts, and we're not drinking. At least I don't think we're sleep drinking during, I think that'd be pretty insane unless we got an IV hooked up. Sure. What would you recommend? When we wake up, we're probably waking up 4 o'clock, 4:30 ish. What should we be drinking and how much should we bring before we even just go to our normal 45-minute workout or, when we're starting to start workout, what would you think is a healthy drink? Like, some guys are like, I'm drinking cups of coffee before I wake up. Some people are like, I'm not drinking anything. And some people are like, I'm drinking water, whatever. What do you recommend?
I usually say try to finish at least 16 ounces of water. I usually try to finish a blender bottle of water. Mm-hmm. If it's going to be a hot day, after I finish a blender bottle of water, I'll follow it up with an electrolyte. I'll put a powder in water and drink it while I'm heading to the workout. Okay. But that's me being super sweaty and sweating a lot. If somebody has a low sweat rate, then they wouldn't even need to finish a blender bottle, right, for that amount of time. There's a huge array of sweat rates out there. So.
And you said 16 ounces, Brittany?
I'd say 16 minimum, yeah.
Okay.
And then
as far as caffeine, if you can start with water first. I always say I do drink caffeine and lots of it, but I always make sure I'm hydrated first, because caffeine is a diuretic. It pulls water off of you. So if you're just jumping into a cup of coffee or a pre-workout and you haven't put water on you, you're already in a dehydrated state when you wake up, and now you're dehydrating yourself even more.
That's
you're just not setting yourself up for
So Horse and Buggy, I hope he has this comment saying, ask her about sea salt.
Yes.
So tell us about that. So tell us about that and what he's referring to.
Yep. So sea salt is a natural electrolyte. It has trace minerals in it. You can put sea salt, crack some into your water and drink it. It does not have potassium, but you're getting half of what you need with it. So if you drink, put sea salt in your water and then had a banana, you'd balance out that sodium to potassium ratio that you need before you go.
All right.
Awesome. And then let's move on to the next slide here. So fueling rules. So what's the fueling rules you want to tell us?
Yeah. So fueling, again, is different depending on what you're doing. I put in here lifting and cardio. So lifting, the general rule, and this again is if you have time, 0.45 to 0.9 grams of carb per pound of body weight, 1 to 3 hours before you lift. And then on the cardio side, it's just a little bit higher. So 0.9 to 1.8 grams per pound and a window of 1 to 4 hours before. Everyone's a little bit different with what they can tolerate. And then, of course, intensity and duration will impact, what end of that range you're going to be at. But the closer you are to a workout, like I usually say like 30 to 60, like less than an hour, then you would want to be on the lower end so you don't have digestive issues. So like 0.5 to 1 gram per pound. And then I would stick to easily digestible, like lower carb foods. So like liquids, fruit, just simple grains.
So something I always recommend, I used to be a marathon coach for the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society. And we've always talked about before we're doing for a marathon, when we're training for the marathons, it was like we are scientists. You are trying to experiment what works best before race day. So you're not trying the golden rule is nothing new race day. Nothing. So when it comes to breakfast, your pre-fuel, because again, we're sleeping and then we're going to wake up and go do a workout. What you're saying is we need to experiment to find out what's going to work best for our goal, like whether it's peanut butter and bananas or like a cup of oatmeal, and it should based on our body weight and some of these ratios, in which, again, I'm going to take this slide if it's okay with Peptides and you, and we're going to post it on our website where where this video is also this discussion will also go inside with it. And that's what we should experiment to see what works with our bodies and what doesn't.
Good.
Yep. All right. So what's for fueling performance? So I see Goose. So that's one of my favorite things that I've definitely experimented with and had, issues in the past. So please tell us about all this stuff for fueling performance.
So we have a carb only powder by True Athlete. We have a carb and electrolyte powder by VPN. And then the goo has electrolytes. Most of them have electrolytes and gel as a gel carb. So it kind of depends on, I always say gel is easiest when you're like in motion. If you have the ability to like grab something and stand with it, then I'd probably want to drink versus have another good gel, right? So it kind of depends on convenience.
What about the gummy? I mean, does Goose still make the gummies, or am I thinking of another brand that used to have the gummy-based thing? So instead, people weren't liking the gels. Do they still have those gummy-based? Do you recommend that, or that's just something?
Yeah. So
preference?
Gatorade came out with Chews, and then there's a brand called Honey Stingers that it's made with honey, but they have like waffles.
Yes.
And then there's sports beans, which are some of my favorite too. It's just something different. They're literally jelly beans, but they're flavored in there.
And this True Athlete carb powder, this G1M Sport, is this something to try to mix in during? Is this a pre-workout meal? Is this a post? What are those supposed to be?
So it can be used as either. So some will throw it in, like say you're getting really close to your exercise window and you probably shouldn't have a full meal or like whole foods on your stomach, then you could throw the carb in with your pre-workout or in juice or something that you're mixing with. You could also do a during. So like you mentioned that you'll add noon into your water, like during your ride or your run, you could also throw this in as your carb.
So I think this would be perfect for like the bike ride during Lincoln Games, guys. Anybody that's watching, when we do, 10 to 30 miles or whatever you guys are doing, grab something like this to take care of yourself. So especially Brittany, you were saying, if you're doing in the middle of a workout, this is perfect.
Yep. So more important for long rides or runs to make sure you're continuing to add carb on. And then before if you need it.
Very cool.
So recovery, I think also, so not just pre and during recovery, what are your general rules of thumb here?
Yep. So general rules are that you need to get 20 to 30 grams of protein in within an hour of exercise to help jumpstart muscle repair. The post-workout carb rule is half your weight in carbs. So like grams of carb. And this is most important when you have another workout like later in the day. So say you're doing a morning workout and then you're trying to double up and do another one at night, or you're finishing up super late at night and you have another session planned in the morning. That could be just an easier way to get it in.
So just kind of going backwards a couple. So let's say a couple of the guys, they're probably going to try to do like a run in the morning. They're going to do like a 45-minute workout. Then they're going to quickly drive over and they're going to try to double tap to a nearby 6:30 workout. So let's just kind of talk about a nutrition plan for that. So I'm waking up. I'm going to plan to do a 6-mile run. I should probably have my 16 ounces of water, try to mix in some kind of powder with it, maybe an electrolyte, and mix some potassium like a banana or one of those other supplements you were talking about earlier, correct? Like I'm just going to go backwards to slides, like the True Athlete or the G1 M Sport if I'm getting too close to the actual workout, correct?
Right.
And then I can also, while I'm working out, if I have it on the side, I can mix those in. I can go to something like a GU Energy or the Chews, or like you said, the wafer. I think I was experimenting with the Honey Stinger wafers last year. So something like that during the workout, so we're not losing. So we're going to have that energy as we go on to the next workout, correct?
Right. The general rule of thumb is you need 30 to 60 grams of carb per hour.
Okay.
And so like if you're thinking about that, we usually say after the first hour, but that's assuming you got enough carbs in before your workout. So if you didn't, then I would go into the workout, say you woke up and you're here, it's time to work out, then I would assume you need between at least 30 grams during your workout if you didn't put it in before.
And the GUs, just like, is that something like if you rip open, is the still general rule? If you rip it open, and this is something I don't mix with Gatorade, and I've experimented. I mix Gatorade and GU early in my career, and I've had bad experiences with it. So you're smiling and you're like, yes, don't do that. So I take my GU. I'm running a workout. I'm trying to do the 13-mile. I'm in the middle of my half marathon. I'm going to take out the GU. I'm going to rip it open. I'm going to squeeze it into my mouth, and I should swiggle with water. And that should last me for about an hour, that GU, or is it last 2 hours? What do you think for those typical GUs?
Yeah, there's only about 25 grams of carb per gel or per GU. And so you could actually have one every 30 to 45 minutes. But if you are on the in-between having Gatorade or a carb drink, then you can like kind of calculate that you could maybe do one an hour if you have a little bit of Gatorade along with it. Yeah. And when I say along with it, not along with it, because you are, like you said, if you go outside of that window, say you have 30 to 60 grams, at some point you're going to start having digestive issues. So I know for me, if I have more than 50 grams per hour, like that's my stop. And I've experimented with that. Over that, I have digestive issues. Under 30, or more so under 35 for me, I don't have enough energy to put in the work I'm trying to put in. So everybody has a like very specific window that they kind of have to find and then stick to it with those longer workouts. So
right now this is our experiment right now. We should be experimenting with this. So when it comes to the actual workouts, we're not going to be too tired and we're not going to get sugar belly or God forbid finding the nearest porta potty. So,
right. Yep.
So I have another question. So horse and buggy. So liquid IVs.
Yes.
What is referring to about that?
Yep. So the liquid IV is another electrolyte supplement, and it's almost identical to that BPN product that I showed on the previous slide. Or it wasn't. It was Transparent Labs Hydrate. So I showed a big tub, and so it has like a 30 serve count. Versus liquid IVs are single packets. And so you can bring solo packets along with you. We carry liquid IV at the Vitamin Shop as well.
And then we have another question here.
I think that's
from Snots. So any thoughts on creatine use? Our average age is around 40.
Yep. So I actually have included it in our optimization slides. And yes,
I have a feeling Brittany thinks our names are just so stupid. But
I love it. I kind of want a name, but I don't know what you guys are giving me.
Well, so you should go to.
No, you
There
don't.
is a female.
No, you
You don't want to go through F3. You want to go to FIA. So FIA is the female version of it, and I actually led a FIA workout. I did a CPR workout for them, and I was able to go along, and I helped named an FN, a fun new girl, fun new gal through FIA. So that was kind of a fun, and they're a little bit nicer where they get to vote. They ask what do you want your name to be? If you go through us, we're going to ask you the most horrible stories you've been through.
Well,
and
we're nice.
We're nice, but we're a little bit too nice. Yeah.
So
I love it.
go ahead, Brittany. Go ahead.
So okay. Anyway,
We'll get to creatine, but this slide shows two of our protein powders. I included a whey.
I would tell you guys, I'll interchange here. Like,
yes.
I think we
lost peptides for a second, and we're gonna need to. He'll come back on. We'll figure it out. So
I included two proteins. One is a whey isolate. We usually have a lot of questions about what the difference is between a concentrate and an isolate. I always say for athletes, you should try to pick an isolate. An isolate strips the carb and the fat, and so it's just a quicker way to get protein to your muscles. So that would be best post-workout. There are individuals that don't do dairy or whey, and so that we do have plant proteins as well. We have lots of options at the Vitamin Shop, more than just these two.
So pre-optimization. So is this where we're talking about the creatine stuff or the caffeine?
Yeah, that's the next. So
no. So you go. You tell us what makes sense. So you're the professional. I'm just.
You can take creatine pre. So I guess it could go on both sides. But these are pre's. Most will add them before a workout. So caffeine, you guys already talked about like your coffee and your pre-workouts. It is a stimulant that improves muscle power, strength, and performance. So it can help, offset fatigue. Most caffeine is obtained from a pre-workout, but we do have individual like caffeine capsules and powders as well. Citrulline is an amino acid that boosts nitric oxide production. And nitric oxide has the ability to dilate our blood vessels and relax our airways, which increases oxygen and blood flow. We naturally get citrulline from like watermelon. So that's a great athlete fruit. If you're going to include watermelon, you're naturally getting citrulline in. But in higher doses is usually where we see the most benefit. So most pre-workouts have between 500 and 4,000 milligrams. And some, if they get like a pre-workout that it's low in citrulline or not on that higher end, they'll add a solo citrulline.
We have another question from Spirit Fingers. So he asks, can you ask about BCAAs, especially for recovery?
Yep. So that's the next slide too. So I'll go through this last one and then we'll talk about the creatine and the BCAAs.
Oh, okay. All right.
No, it's all good.
We got to go what the crowd wants. So
you can take BCAAs before as well. So the last one here is beta alanine. If you think about like that tingle effect for anybody that does do a pre-workout, that's what's causing it, is the beta alanine. And beta alanine is an amino acid that plays a role in muscle endurance. And another ingredient in the pre-workout space. So next slide, BCAAs and creatine can be used pre-workout. Some will do creatine before and post. Some will just do it post. Your creatine is a compound made from 3 amino acids, and it helps to aid in increasing muscle performance by providing more energy to the muscle and the cells between bouts of lifting and exercise. I showed a supplement that partners it with HMB, and that's because HMB along with creatine has even better benefits than just taking creatine by itself. So HMB is a metabolite of the amino acid leucine, which is a branched chain amino acid, and it helps support post-workout recovery, lean muscle mass, and strength gains. So pretty similar in end goal as far as creatine. Your BCAAs, for those that don't know, it stands for branched chain amino acids. There's 3 branched chains, and the amino acid glutamine, along with the BCAAs, become depleted with longer bouts or more intense exercise. And if we're not getting enough BCAAs and glutamine in, it can, of course, negatively impact performance and also recovery. I also included turmeric. It's my favorite. There's been times where I wake up from a race and I feel like I'm in a full body cast. Turmeric is my absolute go-to. I take it in place of pain medication. Turmeric that's standardized for curcumin is the best. The curcumin is that anti-inflammatory compound in turmeric that helps with inflammation. So if you have sore muscles or you need joint relief, turmeric is a good add as well.
Great.
And then optimization, D3 and vitamin C.
Yes. So especially those that are planning to do double days or really long bouts of exercise, unfortunately, even though that's an awesome thing that you're accomplishing, it can acutely suppress the immune system. And your vitamin C, your D, your zinc are most studied for helping boost immune system. So I would just make sure you're getting those nutrients either from the diet or during training season. I usually will up these supplements just to make sure I don't get sick.
Very good. And so interested, so one-on-one complimentary one-on-one nutrition. So where can they get the, and again, we'll post all this on the page on f3naperville.com. So where can they go?
Yep. So that link will take you to my booking, calendar. The Vitamin Shop offers one-on-one nutrition consultations. So it's myself and another nutritionist, and we will literally, especially with our athletes, we'll walk through their nutrition, their sleep, their exercise regimen. We'll provide all their numbers, and then we can build a plan to help. So if you feel like you need one-on-one support, you look through the vitamins and you're like, I have no idea if I'm getting what I need, or how can I optimize with supplements, which ones would work best for me, that's what a consultation would be for. And then I put my email at the bottom there. If you just have a simple question, you can just email me.
Then we have another one. So hydrogen tabs.
Yep. So hydrogen tabs are trending now on social media. And it's because it's considered an antioxidant. Most of us are depleting antioxidants, and a lack of antioxidants causes aging, disease, poor recovery, mental changes as we age. And so that could be an easy way to add the tab. You just throw in water and it helps you get the antioxidant.
And then we have all your locations in the local area. I know the one on Route 59 by Portillo's and Target. Is that one of your locations?
Yeah, it is. I think one of Peptides. I now live in Cincinnati, so I don't know with you. But so it is one of Peptides.
That is one of Peptides.
Weber is too, since he's over in that area. But
yep, the one in Jefferson, I see that's the one at the top, number one. That's the one by Portillo's. And I know everything by food and Target. So we have Bolingbrook and Weber, so that's near the complex, right, chaps?
Yeah.
And then we have Darien, which is kind of farther from us. Villa Park would be more of the South Side guys. Bloomingdale Army Trail, that's more Geneva. That's more the F3 Geneva. And then I can't see this on my, Yeah, so the two, yeah, and then Bloomingdale and then Geneva, those are going to be more of our F3 Geneva brothers over there. So.
Yep.
And then that is it for the last slide. I'm going to go back to our other slide here. And again, there is a coupon code, 20% off purchase of $50 more from April 1st to April 30th. Peptides is going to post this on Slack. We're going to post this on the webpage on f3naperville.com on the news section if anyone wants to take advantage of that. Brittany, anything before I let you go? Is there anything else you want to say to the audience? You can hang around. We can keep you in the slide, but we're going to talk more about the upcoming Lincoln Games stuff. So is there anything else you want to add?
Just reach out if you need me. I love working with athletes, and anything that I can do to help you guys succeed during the week, absolutely reach out.
Well, Brittany, thank you so much for joining us. I'm gonna put you in the back studio. You can hang up. Thank you so much. You have a good night. Okay.
Thank
and
you.
chaps, let's kind of wrap that. Let's wrap some of this up because we're going on 46 minutes here. We've been talking a lot. So
it was a lot of good stuff, though.
Lot of good stuff, a lot of fun stuff. So so first, Lincoln Games.
Yeah.
Let's talk about Lincoln Games. A lot happening this week, chaps. So first off, team shirts. So those are going to be 20. So those are now, they're going to be offered. So once you get drafted to a team, starting April 27th after the draft, you can order your team shirt. And they'll be good for May 1st. It's going to be made from Frontline. It's going to have the Lincoln Games logo on the front. It's going to have the your team logo on the back. And it's going to be a dark activewear material, and it's going to be delivered to your team captain or co-captain, and they're going to give it to you by Lincoln Games. So I got Peptides back on. So Peptides, are you going to be joining on Lincoln Games?
The thought is out there. I'm thinking about it. I gotta definitely still weigh my options, but it's all about commitment, basically.
So you did not HC. So you're an
I did not HC.
Did not HC. Did you hit missing out?
Yes, definitely missing out for sure, man. Because it's just traveling for work too much, man.
So you hit me. Did you know though? You can hit up. You just need to hit to any Naperville AO. So any AOs in anywhere, as long as they're not virtual, and still be part of Lincoln Games.
Oh, I did not realize that. I need to evaluate that for sure.
So you can reevaluate that. So if you hit missing out during the HC link, contact me. You're going to be added to a random team.
I will for sure, man.
All right. So, but again, so the shirts will be delivered by day one. We have all the captains. So we're going to have all the logos. They're on f3naperville.com. You can take a look at them. We'll also be broadcasting on the Chaos Draft, which is happening this Sunday live from Mistwood Dome. So we have 3 options for you to participate in the draft. First, show up to Mistwood Dome. You can earn second half pregame points by just showing up. And then, of course, you got to make sure you got to record them too. So don't forget that. So otherwise, it doesn't count. So show up to the draft at Mistwood Dome and get those points. You can also live stream here with Chaps and I, and you can hear us talk to everyone. We're going to interview captains. We're going to have fun games. We're going to talk about stats. We're going to talk about Lincoln Games history. We're going to interview people from the foundation, Frontline OCR. So we got a lot jam-packed in those 2.5, 3 hours. It's going to go, it's going to go fast. Or you can just, if you don't want to listen to Chaps and I, you don't want to, my son Ish wanted to show everyone online his awesome picture. He had a headache, so he's making some Minecraft stuff here. So there you go, buddy. You're not famous. You're online. So, but so with everyone who HC'd, we're going to go 8 rounds. Okay. Oh, there's another side, guys. There you go. If you're looking at it.
This one is the best diamond sword. It can be upgraded from diamond to netherite, and diamond and netherite are the best Minecraft swords.
Okay.
Chaps, did you take your kids to see Minecraft yet?
I did. I had no idea what was going on.
I saw Minecraft with my dad.
And how was it?
great.
It was a great movie.
Yeah.
So anyway, yeah, so we had 154 guys who actually HC'd. So those are going to be the first round drafts and that's going to go about 8 rounds. And then after that, it's going to be auto round drafting for everyone who did not click missing out and who's just been an active Naperville pack since January.
Yeah.
So that's where or you can just go to the Lincoln Games channel in Slack, Lincoln Games 2025. And yes. And Snowden, our previous, our 2023 winner, he's in charge of the draft software. He's going to have it auto live updates on the channel as people are drafted. Okay, we can clean it up in a minute, buddy. It's a little deal. So let's talk about some upcoming second half, third half events. So first off, what's happening this week here in Naperville? What was happening tonight?
Tonight? Tonight?
Yeah,
Something happened tonight. Yeah. You know what happened tonight, right?
Yeah, why?
What was it? I don't know.
Hesed House.
Oh, the Hesed House. Oh my God.
Hesed House happened tonight.
Yeah, Hesed House. Oh, I saw the Love Your Neighbor thing that came up. So I was like, no, that's not tonight. But yes, Hesed House was tonight. Then we also have Love Your Neighbor. I think that's next week. And then we also have the Convergence coming up on Saturday and the Blood Drive, which is Sunday morning, right before we go to the Chaos Draft. So did you mention the Convergence? You mentioned the Convergence? The Convergence, yeah, I mentioned that.
What?
Yeah.
Mentioned that.
And we got, I think, 73 HCs. So saw it yesterday. Super excited for that. That's going to be awesome. If you guys have never been there, please try to get out there and do it. And then, the Chaos Draft is going to be a lot of fun.
So looks like we want to bring I was going to bring Brittany back. Sorry, she was still in the studio and she left. Sorry, buddy. Sorry about that. Thank you. Yeah, he is pretty funny. I like to keep him around. I think I'll keep him a little bit longer. So we got that going on. And so golf outing.
Sorry, I do want to call out the pre-HC for the holiday party. So
okay.
We do have that coming up December 6th. I've already booked the DJ, the photo booth, lighting, the entire room. We're going to have the entire second floor at Hotel Indigo, which is the Elements. So everything's already planned out. We're just going to have to we're going to send out an official HC list and let you guys know the pricing. And then we're going to need you guys to put a pre-HC out there. And then M's are invited too. So we want to get out ahead of this, just like we do for the golf outing that you can see the next page.
All right. And so we have a couple of, so let's just go back to Lincoln Games. So we have a couple Lincoln Games stuff. So Chaos Draft, we have our first draft. Chaos Draft is going to be lit. Sure is supply chain. And then we got our Uncle Rico, which is kind of like Chaps and I, we have been bugging him on a regular basis. How should we optimize for the Chaos Draft?
Yeah.
I don't know if there's pre-drinking or post-drinking. And then we got, is there BYOB at Mistwood? I believe not.
Yeah, I don't think there is.
It's a bar. We want you to purchase meals and help the local guys. We also have a PAX that does work at Mistwood, correct?
Yes. Yeah. It's not. Is it Corningstone? It's not Corningstone, is it?
I think it's Corningstone.
I think it might be Corningstone. Yeah. So he's our Mistwood guy. We want to show him some love there. That's another reason why we like it in that area. So La Bamba. So no, that's not La Bamba. That's no, it's not La Bamba.
I just worked out with him the other day.
Yeah, it's Corningstone. Yeah, everybody else is saying that.
Yeah. So Corningstone. Yeah. So that's
by the way.
Aquanet. Thank you.
Yeah.
Sorry. Aquanet. Thank you, Aquanet. Appreciate you. I'm sorry. My brain is off, and I got my son and me in the background here too. So I love you guys. So let's go back to the golf outing. So that's been our big, Chaps and I have been all over this. So Chaps, why don't you kind of go a little bit more into this?
We've got everything done. So this is coming up. I'll send out something on Friday, which will be exactly 3 months from Friday, July 25th. That's when the golf outing will actually happen. So register HC. There's going to be multiple options on golf and lunch, and then golf, lunch, and dinner, all one fee. And then we are also going to be using Mutual Ground for our foundation that we're going to donate to. So that's something that is going to be special for us. And we would hope that you guys can make a small donation to them. Each PAX, if we can do that, would make a huge thing for them, huge donation for them. So I think that would be coming out on Friday. And I'm going to, as you guys probably know, I'm pretty annoying. So I will be sending out possibly weekly videos. There'll be funny videos of just updates on making sure that you guys are signing up for the golf outing. So if I do not see your name on the HC list, I will be coming after you. Oh, you're muted.
Sorry, I had Mr. One talking about Minecraft while you were talking. I had to mute.
No, you're fine.
But we had to, but a portion of your proceeds, if we have our calculations done correctly, will go through the F3 Naperville Foundation to Mutual Ground.
Right.
So that's what we mean by donation. So there are going to be options with your registrations to opt to donate more, and be a write-off. So, which is not the most important thing, but it's going to be on the receipt. So before anything else, so a couple updates. So this Saturday, because of the convergence, only the 5:15 a.m. Iron Lion and Two Wolves will be open. Everything else is going to be closed because of the convergence. So if you're not going to Two Wolves or Iron Lions at 5:15, go to the convergence. Still not too late to HC. It's free for you guys. It's the taste of OCR. We had Hootie on a couple weeks ago. Check that out. Check that interview out if you haven't yet already. And then Chaps, where are you posting tomorrow?
So tomorrow, I think I'm going to do Wingstop. It's his birthday cue. So
is that an Outpost?
It is, yeah. So
didn't we have this whole Shakespeare thing going on in Slack?
Oh, I don't know. I was so busy today. I just HC'd and I knew it was his birthday cue. So I already knew on Sunday where I was going to go on Wednesday. So, yeah.
Peptides.
Anywhere?
Say that?
Where are you going?
Me, I think I'm. As soon as I get enough sleep, I'm gonna try to go. I'm gonna try to go to OP tomorrow.
There you go.
So, Peptides, where are you posting tomorrow?
I wish I was back home, guys. I'm still in Detroit. I fly home tomorrow, but so you guys will see me Friday and probably Saturday. Probably local, most likely at Complex.
One thing I do want to say before we go, Peptides, if we could, I would like to see if we can start a nutrition Slack channel, something that people can go to. I think this was very beneficial. So thank you for getting Brittany on, you yourself, because there's a lot of things that people are going to have more questions on that were not on this call. And I think it's going to be important for us to make sure that we're taking care of ourselves.
Yeah, and my signal was cutting in and out, guys. I think, I appreciate the opportunity, and kudos to you guys for putting forth your time as well. And for Brittany and I, it's easy stuff. But I think awareness and education, some of the things that F3 has brought to a lot of people, it's awareness and education, right? It's a safe place. Brittany, myself, the Vitamin Shop, it's a non-commission type environment. So I think education is key. We carry 8,000 items in these stores, and in her PowerPoint, obviously there's a bunch of locations in the area. It's non-commission. It's a safe space, and I think just go out and get educated and stuff like that. But we're here to help. So thank you guys for the opportunity, and thank both of you guys for obviously donating your time tonight to do this.
Yeah, absolutely.
But yeah, the channel, we'll work on the channel. Like Chaps, let's work on it. And from that perspective, I'm all in on it just to help other people. Just a lot of people just don't know where to start, and I think that's where it's all about. Like, where do you start? And that was me, 9 or 10 years ago. I didn't know where to start from a nutrition or from a supplement perspective. And there's a lot of people out there that can help. So
Exactly.
I'm all for it. Like, let's do it.
And Brittany said something like something was on trend. I mean, I think that that's going to be something that we can continue to add and just say, hey, this is something that someone. So
the hydrogen tabs that was the
Yeah,
thing
the
that was the
hydrogen,
new
yeah.
trend. Yeah.
So just like stuff like that, I think like a channel like that would be good, and it would be cool if we could do like a CSOP nutrition diet. Something.
I'm down for it, man. Let's collaborate on it, and we can make it happen to make all the packs better. So I'm with you guys.
Cool.
Well, thank you guys for showing up. We will see you guys in the gloom. All right. Thank you, everyone. Have a good night.
Thanks, Puff.